More than 1,500 years later, long after the Bronze Age farmers had gone, it was the Romans who took control and dominated the area. Much of what they built has vanished, but the view from above has allowed us to rediscover entire towns. In 1928, an RAF crew were flying over the former Roman town of Venta Icenorum, modern-day Caster-St-Edmund, just south of Norwich.
The early aerial photographs of this place were a real breakthrough in aerial archaeology. They showed the street plan beautifully and remains all around the Roman town that you can't see from the ground. Look at that, isn't that beautiful?
How well you can see the crop marks depends on the weather. The dry summer of 1928 was perfect for showing the streets of the town in the parched barley fields. Recently we've had much wetter summers, so it's a little more tricky to make out.
Well, you can see the street pattern.
It's no wonder this photograph caused such a stir. This is the Roman streets, the hardcore of the Roman streets, stopping the crop growing so well. The detail is astonishing. Individual buildings are showing up here. Now, this obviously fired up the archaeologists. They had everything laid out for them. And it's no surprise that the following year there was a major campaign of excavation.
It was one of the biggest digs of the last century, but by the time it was finished, it hadn't answered a key question which is still puzzling us today. Something went wrong at Caster-St-Edmund. It's one of the few major Roman towns that didn't go on to be successful in medieval times and the modern period. What happened here and why? To try to answer that question, archaeologists want to find out as much about the town as they can. And once again, it's aerial photographs that are leading the way.
In the 1960s, a series of aerial photographs of the surroundings of the site showed a set of triple ditches that we hadn't previously been aware of. You can see them here just running across the field as dark marks. And more recently, other analysis of aerial photography has shown that these ditches are part of this massive circuit of defences that seem to run around the site. And we're fairly confident that the walls are a later addition to the town. You can see the streets extend outside the town on all sides. And so what we really want to know is what these ditches are about, what they're doing, what they're for, what dates they are, and how they relate to the town itself.
Heather, we're in one of these ditches of the triple ditch system.
We're in the ditch that's nearest to the town.
It's exciting, isn't it? Because we're just out of that plough zone where it all gets mished up, and this is exactly as the Romans would have left it. We're in these first layers. I can see quite a lot of animal bone. Yeah.
There's some
Bits of sheep and cow and goodness knows what. And quite a lot of pottery as well.
Yeah, I just flipped this little piece out here. So we're in a bit of a town dump, bit of a landfill site.
Well, that's its final use, isn't it? It's interesting.
Yeah.
The ditches have gone out of use, and they're presumably just a hazard or in the way and being filled with rubbish.
Yeah. When you want to level the landscape, so you'll get rid of your rubbish and fill up the hollow land.
Lucky for us. And oh, look at this! Look, that's a very delicate little vessel. That one, isn't it? There's not much of it, but that's a tiny fragment of a little drinking cup.
Yeah, that's really fine, isn't it? That's really fine ware for the table. Lovely.
Imagine someone just having a little sip of wine there, can't you, after a hard day's work? So all life is here, basically, in this tray.
There's a chance that rubbish thrown into the ditches might provide evidence as to why Caster was abandoned. But it's a second site, further away from the Roman town, on the other side of the river, where an answer is more likely.